Hey everyone, Abdul Wahab here and welcome to proawplayer. You know, there are some games that just refuse to fade with time. No matter how many years pass, they pull you right back in with that same magic, that same rush. Whether it's the gripping stories, unforgettable worlds, or gameplay that just never gets old, these legendary single-player experiences still hit just as hard in 2025. Today, we're diving into 15 legendary single-player games that will still hook you in 2025, so get ready for a trip through some of the greatest adventures gaming has ever given us. Let's jump right in.
Coyote won't be back. Good shooting, Mr. Marston.
Red Dead Redemption isn't just a game. It's an experience that pulls you into the fading Wild West and never lets go. You step into the boots of John Marston, an outlaw trying to leave his past behind, but in a world where the past has a way of catching up. From the sun-soaked prairies to the bustling towns, every inch of this world feels alive, filled with danger, opportunity, and stories waiting to unfold. Gunfights are intense, every duel feeling like a high-stakes standoff ripped straight from a classic western. But it's not just about action ride across the open plains, hunt wildlife, play a hand of poker in a dimly lit saloon, or just take in the beauty of a world on the brink of change. The writing is masterful, the characters unforgettable, and the emotional weight of Marston's journey hits hard, even years later. Whether you're playing it for the first time or revisiting it, Red Dead Redemption is one of those rare games that truly stands the test of time.
I suspect you've stolen more horses than you've broken.
Now where'd you get such an idea?
First impressions are hard to erase. That's the train.
That's a good kill.
You got one.
Sleeping Dogs is one of those games that grabs you from the start and refuses to let go. You're thrown into the neon-lit streets of Hong Kong, playing as Wei Shen, an undercover cop walking the razor's edge between law and loyalty. The city feels alive, markets buzzing with street vendors, alleyways hiding shady deals, and every corner packed with opportunities for action. The hand-to-hand combat? Brutal and satisfying, with bone-crunching combos and environmental takedowns that make every fight feel cinematic. Then there's the driving fast, reckless, and ridiculously fun, whether you're tearing through highways or weaving through crowded streets. But what really makes Sleeping Dogs special is its story packed with betrayal, brotherhood, and moments that hit surprisingly hard. It's an open-world crime thriller that delivers everything: gripping action, an unforgettable setting, and a protagonist you actually care about. If you missed it, now's the time to fix that, because Sleeping Dogs is a hidden gem that deserves to be played. Batman. Arkham Asylum isn't just a great superhero game, it's the one that redefined them. From the moment you step inside the infamous asylum, you feel the weight of Gotham's darkest nightmares closing in. The atmosphere is thick with tension, every corridor dripping with eerie details that make Arkham feel like a living, breathing monster. And then there's the combat fluid, brutal and insanely satisfying. Every punch, counter, and gadget-based takedown makes you feel like the Dark Knight himself. But it's not just about brawling. The Predator sections let you stalk enemies from the shadows, picking them off one by one until they're too terrified to fight back. The story? A psychological chess match between Batman and the Joker, packed with unforgettable moments and spine-chilling encounters with Gotham's most dangerous villains. Whether you're solving Riddler's puzzles, gliding through the asylum, or taking down thugs with surgical precision, Arkham Asylum makes you feel like Batman in a way no game ever had before. Even years later, it still holds up as a masterpiece. Tomb Raider 2013 is the game that redefined Lara Croft, turning her from an icon into a survivor you genuinely connect with. From the moment she's stranded on that brutal storm-ravaged island, you feel every struggle, every hard-fought victory. The world is harsh, yet stunning dense jungles, ancient tombs and eerie ruins just begging to be explored. Combat feels raw and intense, whether you're taking out enemies with a well-placed arrow or sneaking through the shadows, using the environment to your advantage. And the platforming? Smooth, responsive, and packed with heart-pounding moments as you climb, leap, and scramble for survival. But what really makes this game special is Lara's journey, watching her transform from a frightened survivor into the legendary adventurer she's destined to be. It's cinematic, it's emotional, and it keeps you hooked from start to finish. If you're looking for an action-packed adventure that still holds up today, Tomb Raider 2013 is an absolute must-play. Assassin's Creed. Black Flag isn't just a great Assassin's Creed game, it's the ultimate pirate fantasy. From the moment you take the wheel of the Jackdaw, the open sea becomes your playground, filled with hidden treasures, naval battles, and islands begging to be explored. The freedom in this game is insane one moment. You're boarding an enemy ship in the middle of a raging storm, and the next, you're diving into the ocean to search for lost wrecks. Edward Kenway is a different kind of assassin, charming, reckless, and driven by ambition, making his story feel fresh and unpredictable. The combat is slick, whether you're in brutal sword fights or taking down enemies from the shadows. But the real star? The world itself. The Caribbean is bursting with life, from bustling ports to wild jungles, and every sea shanty your crew sings makes the journey even more immersive. Whether you're here for the adventure, the epic naval combat, or just the thrill of being a pirate, Black Flag delivers an experience that's still unmatched to this day. Prince of Persia. The Sands of Time is one of those games that stays with you long after you've played it. From the very first moment, it pulls you into a mesmerizing world of ancient palaces, intricate traps, and gravity-defying acrobatics. The parkour in this game was ahead of its time while running, vaulting over enemies, and pulling off precise jumps feels incredibly smooth, even today. And then there's the Dagger of Time, the game's true masterpiece. Being able to rewind mistakes, freeze enemies mid-air, and manipulate time itself adds a layer of strategy that never gets old. The combat may be simple, but every fight feels like a dance, dodging and striking with fluidity. But what really makes Sands of Time special is its storytelling. The prince's journey isn't just about saving the kingdom. It's a tale of arrogance, redemption, and unexpected love, told with charm and a sense of adventure. The narration, the atmosphere, the unforgettable music, it all comes together to create a timeless classic. Even decades later, The Sands of Time remains an absolute masterpiece. The Witcher 3. Wild Hunt isn't just a game, it's an experience that pulls you in and refuses to let go. From the moment you step into Geralt's boots, the world feels alive, teeming with danger, mystery, and stories waiting to unfold. The open world is breathtaking, from the war-torn lands of Velen to the sunlit isles of Skellige, each region packed with secrets and side quests. that often outshine the main story in other RPGs. And speaking of stories, this game doesn't just give you choices, it makes you feel them. Every decision carries weight, shaping the fate of characters in ways you won't always see coming. Combat is brutal yet strategic, forcing you to think, prepare, and adapt as you face everything from monstrous beasts to skilled warriors. Then there's Gwent side game, so addicting it could be its own standalone title. But what truly makes The Witcher 3 unforgettable is its writing, its atmosphere, and the sheer depth of its world. It's a masterpiece that sets the gold standard for open-world RPGs, and if you haven't played it yet, you're seriously missing out. Elden Ring is more than just a game. It's an adventure that truly feels like your own. From the moment you step into the lands between, you're met with a world that doesn't just beg to be explored, it dares you to survive it. Every ruin, every hidden path, every towering fortress holds something unexpected, whether it's a secret boss, a powerful weapon, or lore that deepens the mystery of this world. The freedom is unreal. Want to charge headfirst into battle? Go for it. Prefer to summon spirits and fight from a distance? That works too. The combat is brutally satisfying, where every swing, dodge, and parry feels earned. And just when you think you've seen it all, the game throws another jaw-dropping moment your way. Whether it's a colossal dragon swooping down from the sky, or a hidden underground city that stretches on for miles. There's no hand-holding here, but that's what makes every victory so rewarding. Elden Ring doesn't just test your skill. It pulls you into a world so immersive, so full of discovery, that you can't help but lose yourself in it. The Last of Us Part 2 isn't just a game. It's an emotional roller coaster that grips you from start to finish. It takes everything you thought you knew about storytelling and gaming and pushes it to the next level, delivering a narrative that's raw, gut-wrenching, and impossible to forget. The world feels painfully real, from the overgrown ruins of Seattle to the quiet, intimate moments that make every character feel human. Combat is brutal and weighty, making every encounter feel like a desperate fight for survival. Stealth is intense, with enemies communicating, flanking, and reacting in ways that make you constantly rethink your approach. And then there's the sheer attention to detail animations, environments, and even tiny interactions that make the world feel alive. But what truly sets this game apart is its ability to challenge you, not just in gameplay, but emotionally, forcing you to see things from different perspectives in ways most games wouldn't dare. The Last of Us Part 2 isn't here to make you comfortable, it's here to make you feel. And whether you love it or hate it, one thing's for sure, you won't walk away from it the same.
Well, let's do our job so we can go back and eat, okay? No way we're finding her before Scar.
Cyberpunk 2077 throws you straight into the neon-soaked chaos of Night City, a place where danger lurks around every corner, and every decision carves out your own path in this ruthless, high-tech world. The sheer depth of this game is mind-blowing. Whether you're hacking into enemy systems, fine-tuning your cybernetic upgrades, or just cruising through the city, there's always something to do, and it all feels incredibly immersive. The combat is slick and brutal, letting you choose between going full guns blazing, slicing through enemies with mantis blades, or ghosting past with high-level stealth and hacking. But what truly makes Cyberpunk 2077 stand out is its storytelling. Every quest, even the smallest side missions, are packed with depth, character, and moral dilemmas that make you stop and think. And then there's Night City itself, a living, breathing world that never stops feeling alive. Whether it's the chatter of street vendors, the flashing advertisements, or the gangs patrolling their turf. With its massive expansions and updates, the game has only gotten better, delivering the experience it was always meant to be. If you're looking for an open-world RPG that pulls you in and refuses to let go, Cyberpunk 2077 is an absolute must-play.
Hilo? Is this real? Who'd you piss off this time, Johnny? Take cover!
Ghost of Tsushima isn't just a game, it's an experience that pulls you into the heart of feudal Japan like nothing else. From the moment you step onto the windswept fields, you feel the weight of Jin Sakai's journey, torn between the honor of the samurai and the brutal reality of war. The combat is nothing short of perfection. Every strike of your katana feels deliberate, every duel a test of skill and patience. But it's not just about the fights, it's the world itself that makes this game unforgettable. The island of Tsushima is alive, with golden forests, misty mountains, and serene shrines that make every moment feel like a living painting. The way the wind guides you instead of traditional waypoints is such a simple yet brilliant touch, pulling you deeper into the immersion. And let's not forget the Kurosawa-inspired visuals, making every battle, every cutscene feel like it belongs in a legendary samurai film. Whether you're charging into battle like a true warrior or striking from the shadows as the Ghost, Ghost of Tsushima gives you the freedom to play your way while delivering one of the most breathtaking and emotional stories in gaming.
I'm losing him!
Marvel's Spider-Man 2 isn't just a sequel, it's a full-blown evolution of what made the first game incredible. Swinging through New York has never felt this smooth, with insane speed, fluid momentum, and that exhilarating dual character dynamic between Peter and Miles. The combat? Absolutely next level. You're not just button mashing. Every punch, dodge, and web strike feels precise and impactful, with new abilities that make you feel like an unstoppable force. And then there's the story. It's intense, emotional, and packed with jaw-dropping twists that hit just as hard as the fights. But the real game changer? The symbiote. Peter's darker, more aggressive style shakes up everything, adding a whole new layer of depth to the gameplay and the narrative. The open world is more alive than ever, with new side activities that don't feel like filler. They actually build the world in meaningful ways. Whether you're soaring through the skyline or diving into a brutal boss battle, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 doesn't just meet expectations, it shatters them.
Spider-Man! Help! There's an ambulance nearby. I can take you to it.
You're a lifesaver. Thank you.
Horizon Forbidden West takes everything great about the first game and dials it up to an entirely new level. The world is bigger, more alive, and absolutely stunning lush jungles, deep oceans, and vast deserts filled with secrets just waiting to be uncovered. And the machines? They're more aggressive, more intelligent, and more thrilling to fight than ever before. Combat is a perfect balance of strategy and intensity, forcing you to think fast, adapt, and use every tool at your disposal. Aloy's journey is deeper, more personal, and filled with twists that keep you hooked from start to finish. But what really makes Forbidden West shine is the sheer freedom it gives you. Climbing, gliding, diving. Every movement feels fluid and natural, making exploration feel like an adventure in itself. The side quests aren't just filler, they're some of the best in the genre, packed with meaningful stories and rewarding gameplay. Whether you're facing down a towering thunderjaw or just taking in the breathtaking landscapes, this game constantly reminds you why single-player adventures are still unmatched. Resident Evil 4 Remake isn't just a nostalgia trip, it's a masterclass in how to rebuild a classic while keeping everything that made it legendary. From the moment you step into that eerie village, the atmosphere is thick with tension, every shadow hiding a potential threat. The combat feels tighter, more fluid, and incredibly satisfying, whether you're landing a perfect headshot or delivering that signature roundhouse kick. And let's talk about the horror. This remake cranks up the intensity, with smarter enemies that force you to stay on your toes. The world feels more alive, more detailed, and dripping with atmosphere, making every encounter feel like a cinematic experience. But it's not just about action, there's an unsettling sense of dread woven into every moment, keeping you constantly on edge. Leon's journey is more gripping than ever, with characters that feel fleshed out and moments that hit even harder than before. Whether you're a longtime fan or diving in for the first time, Resident Evil 4 Remake proves why this game is still the king of survival horror.
This just keeps getting worse.
Bloodborne isn't just a game. It's an experience that pulls you into its haunting, nightmarish world and refuses to let go. From the moment you step into Yharnam, you can feel the weight of something sinister lurking in every shadow. The Gothic architecture, the eerie silence broken by distant howls, the sheer dread of what's waiting around the next corner, it all builds an atmosphere unlike anything else. Combat is fast, aggressive, and punishing, pushing you to stay on the offensive rather than hide behind a shield. Every dodge, every perfectly timed counter, every desperate rally of health makes each fight feel like a battle for survival. And the lore? It's deep, cryptic, and disturbing in the best way, rewarding players who dig beneath the surface. Bloodborne doesn't hand you answers. It dares you to piece together its madness on your own. Every boss is a spectacle, a grotesque nightmare that feels impossible at first, but exhilarating once conquered. And just when you think you understand the game's horror, it shifts into something even darker, more cosmic, and utterly unforgettable. And that wraps up our journey through 15 legendary single-player games that still have that magic in 2025. These aren't just games, they're experiences that stay with you long after the credits roll. I'm Abdul Wahab, the creator behind proawplayer, and everything you see here is crafted with passion, real, human-made content for gamers who appreciate the best. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these games still hooks you today? Or is there another masterpiece you think deserves a spot? Let's get the conversation going in the comments.